All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Sunday morning. And again, we continue the quest to find a supers game that Mr. Mean wants to run. Last night, we took a look at Palladium Games Heroes Unlimited, and it's a strong contender. But today, we're going to look at Superheroic 5E by Sigil Entertainment by Gwendolyn and Amy Marshall. I only have the PDF. I missed the Kickstarter for this, and it's a 5e game. And everybody here, most of the meanies, know how I feel about 5e. So, but that being said, first we got to take a moment to go share stuff with all the other plataformas and see. Oh, let's see if this works. No, it's not. I don't know what I did here. Whatever I did didn't work, so I'm not worried about it. Oh, it's there. Look, I'm live. Sweet. I don't know how it's working, but oh, it's showing that it's on my John Polak profile. I wanted it to be. Evidently, Facebook has stopped the streaming to groups. There's workarounds, but they're a little bit on the complicated side. But anyway, I'm streaming on Facebook right now, so that part is cool. So, but what I want to do is I want to go to my email, but we got to take a second here to share this out and all that fun stuff. All right, and we're going to share this. Boop, copy, and we'll put it on our Discord. All righty. Oh, enter. There we go. Let's see here. General gaming. Boop. We're going to post that. La 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 la. And I really think Daggerheart could do supers, but we need a little bit more powers and options for more super. Like you could say magic, the Book of Ava or whatever all the magic things would be, that kind of stuff. So you could do it. I don't know where. I'm not going to post this on too many places on Discord. I've already shared it there. Close this. Let's go to Facebook. Go to groups. See how that works. Post, and then we'll go here. And sorry, we gotta dance through the dance here to get. I know it's. You gotta do your due diligence, man. Boop. And we'll get the conversation started here pretty soon. Give me a second. Let me get this posted. I think my wife is going to be leaving soon to go run some errands. I was on call yesterday and I got so many calls. It was, none of them were hard, but it's the whole point of it. Just interrupting your Saturday is quite annoying, and we don't really get anything in return. We get a half a day off, which I guess you could say is better than nothing. But every place I've ever worked in the past, you got paid for being on call, or you got a full day off. And we only get a half a day off, which I think is a crock. But it is what it is, and I am grateful for the fact that I get to work from home. I get to time off to take my kid to all of his appointments and the places he needs to go. So it is what it is. We're going to post this in the supers because it's very apropos. Maybe those guys might know some stuff about. I'm just trying to figure out any other places to post it. I paint a lot of miniatures, so I'm in a lot of miniature Facebook groups, and I wish there was. It would surely be nice to separate groups into like spaces or something. I don't know why they don't do that, but it's Facebook. I mean, I need to look at Star Anvil Studios, Saints and Sinners too, because that's kind of, or Star Marines, or that might be another option as well for supers. I have to look at that a little closer, but I think that's pretty much. I don't know if I can post. Yeah, I can't post here, so I don't even know why I'm part of that group. All right, so that's there. We're gonna close all these. Boop. Close that. Close the Facebook. And let's see, Mad Martin Gaming. Hey, how you doing, sir? Or ma'am? I don't want to assume. We got 2 people watching, or at least 1 for sure. Mad Martin Gaming. That's pretty neat. I'm assuming you're into gaming. What kind of gaming? Is it tabletop gaming or computer gaming? I do a little bit of both. I don't stream any computer gaming. It's just not my jam. I don't know if you follow me on YouTube or if you follow me on Discord. So if you do, say so. And welcome to the chat. We're looking at, let me close my Proton Mail. There we go. And now you guys can see. I don't know how long we'll stream. We typically stream for a little bit over an hour. So we'll see if I run out of stuff to talk about or I get tired of it, then we'll end it. But I'm on a quest. I want to run a supers game on Start Playing Games. And I looked and there was one Heroes Unlimited game. I didn't see any other supers games. I didn't see any Savage Worlds Necessary Evil, which was in consideration. I'm a big fan of Savage Worlds. The problem with Savage Worlds is I think the mechanics break down. Everybody plays a mage and they just start spamming bolts left and right, and it just tears everything up. So I didn't want to do that. Of course, there is Savage Worlds Supers, and I could use the old Supers compendium. It is somewhat compatible with the current version of Suede, Savage Worlds Adventure Engine. So that's still on the table, I think. I'm not quite sure if they've redone the superhero compendium for Suede or not. I know they've done the horror and they've done the fantasy, so I'll have to go check that. I don't know. I think they did, but I'm not sure. But I have the older version for the previous edition of Savage Worlds, so I could use that one and wouldn't be a problem. I am looking at Palladium Heroes Unlimited because it is a superhero system. Character creation, I'm not going to lie, is a pain in the ass. But I think if I did a session 0 or 2 where everybody was participating in the character creation, and we worked through it, I think that would be fine. And I have enough experience with the system that I could walk people through creating a hero. But what else did I look at? Oh, I looked at Guardians, which was by Star Child or Dark Tower Enterprises. It's defunct. And the problem is, I don't think you can get the actual PDF of the game. It's hard to come by. And I don't want to promote pirating or anything, since I am a YouTube channel and I do promote indie games. And that game is dead. So I could probably share. I don't even know if I have a copy of the PDF, which is the problem. I have a physical copy of the book, but I don't believe I have an electronic copy. So that one would be tough because it would be my book, and it just wouldn't facilitate online play. I'm planning on charging, I believe, $10 per session, with a minimum of 4 players, maximum of 6. And it'll be probably bi-weekly because that's what fits into my schedule. I want to go for like an X-Men mutant registration kind of, that, early 2000 superheroes, Silver Age, Golden Age, not Golden Age, but Silver Age or Modern Age, Batman street level with superpowers, so you could have your Cyclopses, your Wolverines, your Blasters, your Flyers, your Speedsters. Speedsters in Supers games, tabletop RPGs is really hard. Mutants and Masterminds did a good job of it, of making it work. And I'm going to go back and look at that and see if I can adapt that to whatever rule system I use. I believe Palladium books had a good deal of it as well. Had a good way to work it out with the number of attacks you get and not making it so obnoxious. But today, as you can see on the screen here, is a Superheroic Role-Playing for 5th edition. Now, disclaimer, I am not a 5th edition fan. I believe that D&D 5e breaks down around levels 9 through 12. Somewhere within there, depending on your class and everything, the mechanics fall apart. So I want to see if Superheroic Role-Playing addresses that and if the mechanics support it. Probably one of my favorite 5e things is games is Esper Genesis, done by Alligator Alley. There are no elves, there's no dwarves in that game, and it's basically unique alien races, and the mechanics are solid. I played a short campaign with a number of players, and I ran a small home game a couple of years ago and had no problems with it. And we got up to, I want to say we got up to 6th level and everything was scaling just fine. And I was looking at higher levels and I didn't see any issues of anything falling apart or mechanics becoming unruly. So Esper Genesis for sci-fi is really good. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. It's worth your time to look at it. And it's, even though it's using 5th edition rules, it is different enough that I didn't feel like I was playing D&D, which is, I guess, the whole point of a good setting. If you don't feel like you're playing, fantasy D&D with a skin on it, then obviously the game is doing it right. So with that being said, I wanted to give S5E a chance. They put out 3 books. I did not open all 3 books. I guess I should, so that we can have a true and see what they are. And the question is, where did I put them? I think it's in this stuff, desktop stuff. And then game PDF, is it in here? I know I have them because obviously I got it on the screen, but the question is, where did I save them? I have so many PDFs. Fabulous Ultima, Dagger, lots of Daggerheart. That's good. I love my Daggerheart. Square Grid, Nightfell. Not there. Okay, in World Age, Brew House stuff. Did I download them? Outgunned, Nightfell, desktop stuff. Yeah, nope, not there. Every once in a while I go through and I start cleaning up my files on my Mac because I am notorious for lack of organization. I have good organization when I organize. The problem is I don't organize enough. Let's see. Ultra Modern 5e has a lot of good stuff, but that's more for modern age with guns and stuff like that. D&D, D20, Eberron, Esper Genesis is in there. I need to add a folder for this stuff. So it's not there. So that's quite annoying. I don't know where I put it. But the flip side is, the nice part is I can go over here to Drive Through RPG and I can just re-download it because I bought the PDFs. I missed, there was a Kickstarter. I guess I don't know much about it, but I think there were issues with the Kickstarter and fulfillment and everything. And Augmented Operative, let's download that, and Midnight City. So they came out with 3 books for the Kickstarter, and there was the core book. There was the core book, which is what is on the screen right now. And then there was Midnight City, which is basically your Gotham, your Metropolis, all that's a city location. And then there was Augmented Operative Registry, which was I'm not quite sure. So we're gonna take a peek at that as well. Those are downloaded, so we're gonna just open them up. Oh, I didn't want to open it there. Darn it. Let's do this. Let's go to the folder and we'll open them both. There we go. So I re-download them. I'll create a folder in my D&D folder for 5e, and then so there's the core book. Close out of that. Matt and Martin Gaiman, you still with us? Well, guess not. He dropped off. So nobody's on the stream right now. That's fine. This will go up on YouTube later. Let's see if anybody's mentioned anything on Discord. Nope. That's okay. I stream more for me than anybody else. But yeah, so in my quest to find a good words, man, words are hard. Did I post this to Blue Sky? I'm not sure if I did or I didn't. Do. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Profile. Let's see if it's on there. Nope. All right. So let's do a new post. Go here and go there. And post that. So that's there. And then let's go to Facebook. Who's hiring? Whoever Terry Maggart is hiring. That's good to know. I enjoy Facebook for the groups. I don't really care about anything else on Facebook. It is not my cup of tea. Trying to see. Just trying to see some other stuff. So much cool stuff. The bottom line. Just too much good stuff. And my niece was in a car accident. So the car was totaled, but she's okay. She's little bumps and bruises. Great cover. Really would like to see some more Critical Role streaming Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I really like that one shot they did. It wasn't Critical Role, but it was Matt Mercer and Felicia Day and all those people, and that was really cool. Oh. So, yeah. All righty. All right. So, well, it's streaming on Facebook, so that's cool. Yeah, cool. And Kat He says she liked my stream. Yay. Kat was awesome. She was on our Autism of the Seas cruise and took wonderful care of my son. I'm going to have to figure out how to stream from my Facebook group because I don't want it necessarily going on my main profile. But that's okay. It's streaming, so it's working. So we got 4 people watching. If you're in the stream, please pop in and say hi. If you've played a Superheroic 5E, let me know. Or if you have it, what are your thoughts about it? Do you like it? I love the art in it. It's definitely got that comic book feel to it. Um, I did print this. I have to go pick it up here in a bit. They don't close until 4 over at the Office Depot. I printed it, double-sided printed. It was a pretty chunky book. It's 292 pages. Came out pretty thick. So I streamed. Man, words are hard today. I double printed it, or I printed on both sides of the paper. I duplexed it and printed it. Wow, that's cool art. I'm gonna give them the art. It's definitely got that comic book feel of the art to it, which that's a winner. I don't know. I know you can still buy this on Drive-Thru RPG, but I don't know if they're still in the business of making this or supporting it. I did download the character sheet. I don't know where it's at right now, but I did download it. I'm not sure if I think it's in the book. Let's see if it's at the end of the book. There's the legal info. There's all the backers, the index, the big index, which is good. I like a good index. Oh, now we have like NPC appendices, stat blocks, brown. These are all creatures, defenses. Did they not put a character sheet in the book? That would, that's a cool piece of art right there. I do like the comic book style art. I'm gonna say I'm jonesing on it. These are spells for your magic users and stuff. We're going backwards. I was trying to find a character sheet, and I don't see one. Doesn't mean it's not in here. Uh, I will say I do like the fact that the table of contents is hyperlinked, so you can get to anywhere around here. So you want to go to session 0, boom, here's your making a hero. Choose an ancestry and a culture, pick your superhero class, select your powers, take a background, determine your statistics, and create a hook. So we got 6, technically 7 if you count session 0. We've got 7 steps to making a character, and that's pretty good. I mean, and it tells you to what level to start. Levels what? So the game goes from levels 1 to 20, with levels 1 through 4 were slightly more powerful than typical humans. Super heroic overboard. S stands for super heroic. This is by Sigil Entertainment, and it is supersonic. No, super heroic. Super heroic 5th edition. So it's using WotC's 5th edition rules. The 2014, I think it's the 2014 version. It's using those rules in a super heroic setting. There are 3 books out for it. The Augmented Operative Registry, which is more like a Mutant Registration Act kind of adventure or whatever, and then Midnight City, which is their default setting for the game. Right now, we're just kind of giving a look at the core book. I am on a quest to find a system to GM on Start Playing Games, and I want to run a supers game. I want it to be a bi-weekly game, a little bit of play-by-post as well. So I want people to go back and forth. So it'll be in conjunction with my Discord channel. And the point will be is that you can put background stuff that you're doing during downtime. And then, of course, the adventure that the players go on when we sit down at the table to actually play the virtual table. And it'll be theater of the mind. I'm not going to use any VTT. And we're going to roll real dice. Although I do have DD dice enabled on my Discord, so you can roll 3D dice in my Discord if that's your jam, but you would have to manually do it, which is not hard because it's a D20 plus or minus. So you could probably preset. You can create a free account and you can create dice things. So I don't know what A5E is, Overboard. This is from Sigil Entertainment. So I don't know if they're still even in the business because this Kickstarter ran into some problems and somebody else took it over to fulfill it, if I remember correctly. So not quite sure what A5E is. Sounds like you're new to my channel or to my feed. I am not a 5e fan. I do a lot of indie RPGs. Level Up Advanced 5e. That's from EN World, isn't it? EN World, which does What's Old is New, which is an indie game, which I do highly support and highly recommend. It's a very good game. I don't have any of their advanced 5e stuff. Like I said, I'm not a 5e player. I play Pathfinder 2nd Edition, or I play a lot of indie RPGs. Castles and Crusades, probably one of my favorites. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. But I'm on a quest for a superhero game, Overboard. I'm a big, huge super fan, and I want to find. I've looked at Guardians, which is out of print, and I'm not even sure you can get it as a PDF anymore. I also was looking at Heroes Unlimited by Palladium Games, which is another good one. But Palladium Games has its own set of problems. It's not a horrible set, but it is very dated and it needs a lot of tweaking, which I'm not quite sure I want to do that much work. So I'm on a quest, and that's what these series of videos has been, is looking at different RPGs and seeing if there's a contender. And S5E may be a contender. Right now, it's kind of slightly edging out Heroes Unlimited. Yeah, yeah. Hey, man, that's the joy of all the different RPGs out there. You can play if you're playing what you like, then you're doing it right. I just personally don't particularly care for 5th edition, and I don't really like Hasbro or WotC, but that's the political side of it, and I don't want to support companies that don't support players. Uh, but that's just me. I'm also kind of getting out of Palladium. I'm kind of getting out of Pathfinder because the price of their books is getting ridiculous. $90 for a book is ridiculous. I mean, it is worth that much if the game means that much to you, but this is my library and this goes 30 over almost 34 feet. And it's 3 shelves and they're all chock full of games. I have more than enough games to play. I don't need to support a company that's getting greedy. That's my personal opinion. And I love Paizo. I like what they do, but Fabula Ultima is another fantastic game. I just came off of Start Playing Games. I ran a short campaign where they had to rescue the princess from an evil dragon who they found out was being controlled by the Goblin King, who it was really cool. It was a really fun adventure. So I highly recommend Fabula Ultima. It's a really good game. I own all the books, which is the only reason I'm not backing the Kickstarter, because I have no need to rebuy books I already own, and they're not putting anything new in the books except for some new art and new covers, and I don't need that. As much as I want it, I don't need it. I did back and I went all in for Outgunned Supers, which is a D6 system. And if you hang out with the channel long enough, you'll realize that I don't like D6 systems. That being said, there's a number of D6 systems that I really do like. Jay Lasarde's Broken Rat Games, their Black Iron is a phenomenal D6 system, and he's redoing it as a percentage-based system. So there will be a 2nd edition coming out, I think the end of this year or early next year, I think is his plans. Jay from Broken Rat Games is a friend of the channel. I have a Discord. If you check any of my other videos out, Mr. Mean Speaks on Yahoo, you'll find links to my Discord, and where we talk about all different kinds of RPGs and we play games. We have a couple rooms set up, and I also am running. Currently, I'm running a Daggerheart campaign on Wednesday nights on Discord, and I'm also running in my home game. I'm running Daggerheart. Traveler is also another fun one. I have many of the, I have just about every Modiphius game except Dune. I was not a fan of Dune, so I didn't buy it. Yeah, Cubicle 7 does some great stuff, although I'm not sure why they're coming out with a new 4th edition of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. To me, that just seems like a money grab. They also came out with, I think, a 5th edition game. I forgot what it's going to be called. It's like a dungeon crawler, but it's going to use 5e rules. That Cubicle 7. I downloaded the primer for it, and it looks amazing. But I did go in deep for Warhammer: The Old World because I do like that game, that mechanic that they're using. They're using a D10 dice pool system with a kind of a roll and a keep system, or I think it's you roll equal to your attribute, and you're looking for numbers equal to your skill level or something like that. I can't remember. But it's looked like a really cool mechanic. So, and I bought the big GM one that comes with all the dice and the cards and the books and the GM screen and a map and everything. So very excited for that one. But the nice part is Cubicle 7 doesn't typically do Kickstarters. So they just put it out there and you order it, and they do excellent quality. All of the Warhammer. I'm envious if you got all the Warhammer books in limited edition, because those are some gorgeous books. I picked up Winds of Magic in the leather cover, and it was amazing. Yeah, the steampunk Victorian vibe is super cool. There's Victor. Is it? I think it's still called Victoriana by Britannia Games, which is another. It's a percentile based system. If you like Cubicle 7's one, the one from Britannia Games is pretty solid as well, and that's a steampunk, true Victorian steampunk uh, setting. That's really good. Yeah, so yeah, I'm tapering off on what I buy for Warhammer Fantasy, because I think the old world is going to be my jam. I really am liking the mechanics that I'm reading in there, but all I have is the PDFs right now. So until the books come in, but I'm on a quest to find a good Supers game, and so that's why we're looking at uh, Supers 5e, because from what I've read, I haven't seen an online play. I need to go check and see if there's any YouTube, excuse me, any YouTube videos of S5E that people are running, and see if from Sigil Entertainment. Oh, there is. 4 years ago, this game came out. Uh, so yeah, there's a couple of videos right there. Uh, oh, Dracula Stole Christmas. Wow. Uh, Pinnacle Entertainment Group did a review of it, live creators panel. Okay, so there's a couple things out there, and someone's doing yeah. So there's a couple live plays, so I'll have to check those out. I'm curious to see if anything good comes from that. Uh, so yeah, I like the current edition of Warhammer Fantasy, but they're doing a new one, uh, and I don't know why, and I have no interest in supporting it. I love Cubicle 7, I love what they do, but I'm not rebuying books I already own that are perfectly usable. Now, if the books were falling apart or if they changed the mechanics in a huge way, I might consider it, but there are a number of superhero games overboard. There's so many, it's not even funny. Champions, of course, a longtime favorite. Mutants and Masterminds. They have 3 different iterations. I have all 3. They're also in the midst of working on a 4th edition. So, but I don't want to run Mutants and Masterminds because character creation is very difficult. And unless you have an app, and the only app I know of that does character creation even halfway decent is Lone Wolf Hero Lab, and it's expensive, and I don't want to. I don't want my players to have to pay for something. There is a free version I think you can download, but it's a demo, and it doesn't allow you to print your characters. I think you can. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not just not going to go that route. It's too convoluted, and I just don't want to do it. Champions is the same thing. Champions has a million different ways to make the same character, and it's a D6 dice pool system, which I'm not a huge fan of. So Champions and M&M are kind of out the window. Guardians is out the window because it's hard to come by the core book. So I don't want to, and I don't even have a copy of the PDF. I have a copy of the original book, and it's hard. I don't even think you can buy it anymore unless maybe you find it on eBay. But again, that's too hard. I can't guarantee everybody's going to get a copy, blah, blah, blah. So there is an anime 5e. I don't know about any anime 5e. I have Big Eye, Small Mouth, and then of course I have Fabula Ultima. Those kind of both of those, and I have Goblin Slayer. So if I want to play in the world of Goblin Slayer as a anime game, I can play that. Final Fantasy is out there as well. It does not use 5e rules, though. It has its own mechanics. I I don't remember what the mechanics are. I saw the book, but it's outrageously expensive because you're paying for the IP of that game, and to me, it's not worth it. Now, Final Fantasy is a beautiful game, but it's more sci-fi. Um, to me, I mean, it can be fantasy based. It depends on how the GM runs it, but it's just not my jam. I was never a huge Final Fantasy fan of any computer or whatever, so not a big draw for me there. But yeah, there's a number of superhero games. I have quite a few. Of course, I have Marvel superheroes. I have DC heroes. Again, both of those systems are a little bit old. There's Heroic, which is a newer system that is, I think it's out, or it might not be completely out. I think the PDF is in the wild, but it uses a variation of Faster Rip, which is the Marvel universe. Marvel Faster Rip, which was Marvel superheroes back in the day. And I'm not a fan of that system. Too many charts, and again, for playing online. Yeah, hope so, man. Fabula Ultima is a great game. Let's see. There's also the Marvel Multiverse, which I'm tempted to, and I need to give it a stronger look. But everything I've seen leads me to believe that Marvel Multiverse will not support or won't support well custom made characters. Now, if you want to play Wolverine and Spider-Man in the Marvel multiverse, the game is tuned and tweaked to that really well. So that's but I want people to make their own heroes and play the hero they want to play. Now, if they want to make a Wolverine clone, that's fine, but I don't want it to be a carbon copy of Wolverine. So, and if we do Heroes Unlimited, there's very much a random character creation process, which I like because you can come up with some really cool stuff, but you can also get some very gimped characters. And so I don't want anybody to feel gimped and then one person be uber powerful and the other person, I don't want Superman and Batman, it's the dichotomy there would not be good. So there's some options, but Heroes Unlimited is still a strong contender because I know the system and I can make it work. But do I want to work that hard is the question. I'm old and grumpy and I'm tired. So that's why I'm looking for something, and I'm kind of looking at S5E, Superheroic. So they even go through a step by step of making your hero, and they make Blaze, which is a hero. And there's choosing an ancestry and a culture. And the nice part is, I think everything is in this book. You don't need to have a copy of the the D&D books. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Overboard is where I've flipped through the PDF. I don't have hard copies of this book. I don't even know if you can get hard copies of it. I think it's only PDF. The backers that did back the Kickstarter, I believe they got their hard copies, but other than that, I haven't seen any in the wild. I would love to get physical copies of this. I do like the layout. I like the art, but that doesn't make a good game, right? That just makes it visually appealing. So we have classes. We have an elementalist, a kinetic, a martial expert, masterminds, mentalist, metamorph, and mystics. And then the vitalist. And special agents. So they've kind of got all the classes covered. You can be a powered armor guy, you can be a blaster, you can be a mystic arts, you could be a kung fu guy, you can be a Batman type character, and there's people that love Batman because Batman always seems to have a contingency to take out the supers. So, and again, I think that's cool. If being a non-super powered guy who gets by on guile and wit and technology, hey man, if you can hang with Superman, you got to be a badass in some way, shape, or form. So if players want to play something like that, I'm down for that. But they have to be aware that they're going to be playing with guys that can punch their heart out, and be prepared for that. So, but that's what the mechanics are for, and the GM to step up. So, and then you get to you select your superpowers. So you choose an ancestry and a class. You pick your ancestry and your culture, and then you pick a class. And they go through the process of making Blaze. This is Blaze right here on the screen. And you pick your class. And like I said, I did get this. I physically printed a copy of this book on my printer. So I've got to go at Office Depot later on and pick it up before 4:00. So the stream will end before 3, I promise. But we're just kind of looking at this, your ability scores. Once you've chosen your class or powers, you must also determine your ability scores. You spend 27 points to purchase your scores according to the ability score cost. Alternatively, you can roll 46 6 times, dropping the lowest. That's what I'll go with. And if the player gets abysmal rolls, I'll let them re-roll. Typically what I do is you roll it 7 times, you keep 6. Roll 46, drop the lowest 7 times, drop the lowest out of one of those sets so that you have your 6 stats. And then it's just like D&D. Your hit points are 10 plus the maximum number on your hit die plus your con modifier. So there's nothing. If you know how to play 5th edition, you're pretty much going to know how to play this. The only thing that's going to change is the powers. And to be honest, if you're flexible, you can look at the powers as being spells. And I think that's kind of the route they took here. They kind of just took everything, put it into like a 5th edition fantasy spell format, and then converted it into being a power. So, a fireball is a fireball. It doesn't matter how, if you cast it, if you shoot it from your hand, it's a fireball spell. The semantics of it don't matter. It's how you get to the end. So, initiative bonus, everything's pretty much the same. Unarmored AC is 10 plus your proficiency bonus plus your dex bonus. So it's 5th edition. There's nothing dexterity modifier plus your initiative bonus is equal to your dex modifier. There may be some feats in here. I don't know if the game supports feats. You know what I need to check though? I need to see if there is a S5E character sheet. I think there is. I thought I had one. Oh, maybe evidently Pinnacle must have took over. There is. Well, I'm going to download it now. Pinnacle must have took over S5E. So I'm wondering if I can go on Pinnacle's website and order the physical books. I might just have to do that. I much prefer a physical book in my hand. And then I have a Saturday night gaming group that they want to get back to Pathfinder. I really don't have a desire to go back to Pathfinder right now. We will go back to it because Pathfinder is a solid game. I'm just not buying any more books. In fact, I canceled my GM subscription after the Bestiary 2. I canceled it, or Bestiary 2. I canceled it because I'm not paying $80 for a book anymore. That's crazy. So let's see if I'm just trying to see if subclass. Oh, I'm going to download that. So they have some stuff on here. Now the question is, do they have it? Oh, there's a form fillable. Oh, they're charging $5. Come on, guys, that's a crook. Oh, so they do have physical books. So, okay, so I'm going to put a link. Let me go back. I'm going to put a link to Pinnacle's website because that's kind of good to know. So there we go. That'll be in there. So you can buy it. You can physically. Cool. Thanks for checking eBay. But you can buy it brand new from Pinnacle. So they have stock. So that is pretty cool. And there's a short story and there's a soundtrack. The soundtrack is $10. That's a little steep for an MP3. I don't know how many songs are there. It better be at least 15 or 20 songs. And it doesn't say 8 songs for $10. Nope. Sorry, Pinnacle. I think they're just trying to make as much money off of this as they can. But let's see here. I might have to. First of all, I need to sign in. Oh, they're only taking Venmo. What? Pinnacle's only taking Venmo payments? I won't use PayPal or Venmo. They belong to Venmo belongs to PayPal. eBay and PayPal did split, I believe, if I remember correctly. All right, so now we go to S5E. Let's see what comes up. I'm just looking to see, but it is on Pinnacle. I think I added the duo looks like a duplicating character. Oh, your siblings. Oh, well, that's cool. Well, we'll definitely that definitely needs to be in the cart there. Add to my cart. Come on. Okay, added to your cart. All right, cool. I can't believe they only take PayPal. Oh, but you can use PayPal with a credit card, so you're not actually using PayPal per se. The Taker adventure for an adventure for $3. How many pages is it? 14-page adventure for $3. It's a little on the pricey side, but not horrible. Oh, it's written by John Wick. I don't support John Wick. John Wick is an asshole, in my opinion. Let's see here. So you can buy it. Format. Choose an option. Well, you get it in PDF if you buy it. I just need print, but it's not an option. Well, you know what? I physically printed that book, so I don't necessarily need to buy that book in and of itself. And I'll see how my PDF copy or my printed copy pays. But Midnight City. Oh, there's a third book. What's the third book? The third book is Augment. They don't have the Augment book. I wonder if, but I would get Midnight City. Let's see, and it's $40. So let's see what the details are on that. So we may just buy this. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we'll pick that up. We'll add that to cart. Boop. Oh, you got to choose print plus PDF, add to cart. Oh, and I can buy with Apple Pay or GPay, so I don't have to use PayPal. That is awesome. All right, let's go to our cart. One of them's free. I don't have a coupon. Proceed to checkout. We'll pay it with GPay. Oh, I'm gonna have to wait. I'll do it offline. I forgot my credit card. No, John Wick is an actual person long before the movie. Uh, John Wick is the creative genius behind Legends of the Five Rings and oh, what was the other game? Uh, oh, I can't think of the name of it now. Um, yeah, and he was my roommate for a short period of time. Not an easy person to live with, but he's a good enough guy. I mean, he makes cool games. He had a falling out with Chaosium and stuff, so and I don't care about him. Uh, I can't think of his other game though. What was his other? It had Eisenfaust, House Eisen. Was it like a pirate style game? I can't think of the name of the game. But anyway, yeah, he was with Aldrich Entertainment and he did Legends of the Five Rings, which is still around to this day, but now it's put out by who is it? I can't think of the name of the company that does it. It was Fantasy Flight Games, and then they sold the RPG part to another company. I can't remember the name of the company, but yeah, John Wick is a movie, yes, by Keanu Reeves, but the real John Wick is actually he's about my age. He's almost 60, and he is a very prolific author and writer. Uh, and like I said, he wrote Legends of the Five Rings, which is as much as I may dislike Mr. Wick, uh, I love his L5R and his take on L5R. He ran a phenomenal game and he wrote a phenomenal game. So it's a lot of fun. Uh, and he's worked for a couple other game companies in the past. But yeah, I think we are looking pretty good. If you're in the chat there, pop in and say hi. Um, or if you're on Facebook, say hi. I don't think you can post on Facebook here. Let's see. Oh, Cat saying hi. Oh, sweet. I gotta say hi to Cat because she is awesome. Um, yeah, so much stuff, man. But yeah, so they go through the process here of making Blaze, which I'm excited for. Blaze debriefs. So at the end of this, okay, the blah 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 blah. Oh, that's chapter 1 on safety and consent during a debrief. Blah blah blah. I mean, you're an adult. Be mature about it. You know, uh, determining hooks. I think that's a good thing. That's like setting bonds and things like that in other games. It's just a way to give the GM fodder to run the game and give you things to do. I've got a plot line involved for my supers game, and it's not going to be invading aliens because that seems to be all the rage right now, and I don't want to. I don't want to do that. But the art is definitely solid. Oh, that's a cool looking piece. Very much reminiscent of Star Lord, right? I think I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they were going for with the helmet piece. The ship looks almost identical but it's still a cool piece of art. There's no denying that. Ancestry and culture. So we can go through here. We've got aquatic, human, mutant, mythic, robotic, alien, and ancient Earth. Oh no, cultures is alien, ancient Earth. Oh, that's another good one right there. And then we've got languages. Oh man, the art is Jimbo is the artist here. Very cool. I'll just swap it between pages here. Element. All right. Then now we have our classes. So the elementalist, superhero possesses an innate ability to manipulate, conjure forth, and even become an elemental or physical force. Some command the classical elements of earth, air, fire, or water. Others may manipulate the forces of psychics, such as magnetism, gravity, electricity, or light. A few tap other basic forces of chemistry and physics, such as acid or sound waves, as well. So I I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking the flexibility here. Gives you, so when you choose this class, if you choose to be an elementalist, you're gonna have your hit points are 10 plus your level, 10 per level. Hit points at first level is 20 plus your con and all that. So hit points at higher levels are 1d10 or 6. I like that they use the average on the die. I like that. Some players don't like. I do what Matt Mercer does. I really like this concept is you roll your hit die and I roll your hit die behind my GM screen. You get your total and then I give you the option. Do you want to keep your die or you want to take mine? Mine could be higher or lower. So it's a gamble. And I like that because that's that you don't always have to have a ton of hit points, but you want to be a viable character. So I like that you're starting with 20. At first level, you start with 20 plus your con modifier. So that's great. So you're getting a little bit of a boost. And then at hit points, it's a D10 plus your con or 6 plus your con after first level. Saving throws are constitution and charisma. So, and don't get me wrong, I don't think 5e is a bad set of mechanics. I think 5e in the fantasy setting and the current D&D rules in and of itself breaks down the mechanic. The math doesn't work between levels theoretically 7 to 15. Anywhere in there, depending on your class, the mechanics break down. Now, Pathfinder, and this is why I really like Pathfinder 2nd edition, the math doesn't break down. The math is solid throughout the whole game. And there's many different YouTube videos you can go and watch and see that they prove it. So it's good. But it is a game of escalation. Pathfinder 2nd edition is a game of escalation. So, and it's really hard to kill characters in Pathfinder 2nd edition, but it can be done. So it goes into elemental manifestation. Here's your proficiency bonus. You're going to get a +2 to hit with powers at will. At will powers, you get 2. Leveled powers, you get 4. So yeah, they're treating it like spells. You can think of each one of these as like a sorcerer or a wizard, and you're just throwing on superpowers as spells. So I don't have a problem with this. Elemental points, you get 0 at first level, and 2 at second level, and it goes up accordingly. So that's pretty solid. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it's pretty solid, and you get more level powers, but leveled power uses. So this is how many times you can use your power by level. So that's pretty solid. At will powers. So yeah, it's basically they're just converting it to spells. And then your elemental manifestation tells you what kind of damage type it is based on the elemental. So time is necrotic. That is super cool. I like that. Wind is slashing. Water is cold. Sound is thunder. So yeah, putting it into D&D terms to make it fit within the mechanics works for me. I don't have a problem with this at all. That everybody, most gamers know D&D and they understand the concepts, whether it's they've never played, but they've watched Critical Role or they watched other live plays. They're going to have a familiarity with it, which is why I'm kind of really digging this. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of 5th edition rules, but if they're done well and implemented well, such as Esper Genesis in a science fiction setting, Esper Genesis is bar none the best set of 5e rules for sci-fi, in my opinion. So your at-will powers. At first level, you know 2 at-will powers from the elemental power list or the general power list. You learn additional at-will powers at higher levels, as shown in the at-will powers column of the elemental tables. So at-will powers is going to be kind of drawing from cantrips in 5th edition or at-will powers in 4th edition D&D. At-will powers were something that you could always do, just like in D&D fantasy. Sorcerer or a wizard, once they've used their allotted level of powers, allotment of powers for that level, they can't cast spells of that level anymore, but they always have cantrips. And so that's pretty much what I'm viewing these at-will powers are. They are cantrips. So I'm really liking this. So you're still going to have something to do at first level. And I think what I'll do for my game, because I think the power level's a little bit on the low side here, is we will do our session 0 and then I'll do an individual play with each character. I'll set a scene where either their powers manifest if that's what they choose, or they're already an existing hero, and they'll have a scene where they're in a situation, and at the end of that scene for each individual, they will automatically level to level 2, which will give them a little more oomph. And then I will use the milestone leveling process. After so many adventures, they will go to the next level. And of course, it'll be faster at the lower levels, but it'll taper off as they get higher. So, yeah, let's see what else they got going on there. First level and higher. Okay, so it's just talking here. For example, when you reach third level in this class, you can learn one new power of first level or second level. Additionally, when you gain a level in this class, you can choose one of the powers you know and replace it. Yeah, so it's just like D&D. You can replace a spell with a new spell if you don't like it, or a previous spell. Again, super cool art, kind of going with that frost theme here. So, and these are all the powers and abilities for the elementalist. So that is super cool. Not quite sure what kinetic. So this is your kineticist. Kinetic superheroes display their powers physically through feats of strength, speed, toughness, or mobility. These heroes can take a hit better than anyone else, and they can usually do more damage with their bare hands than other heroes as well. Even those who focus on speed or agility are astonishingly resilient. So this is your tough hero. And again, hit points is a D10, 20 at first level. They're doing the same thing. And then all your powers known. There's your list of what you get. Wow. I got to say, this is being a strong contender. I might have to go with this one. I might definitely have to go with this one. This is pretty cool. And there's our martial artist. Teleporting, kinetic, talent, power. So yeah, you got some options here. So when you decide what you're going to play, you're going to have to dial into that class, and you're going to have to really read it. So everybody's going to have access to the book. And what I can do with the joy of editing software and stuff is or PDF, like I can cut and paste these like 3 pages for the player that wants to play a martial artist, and I can just give them those pages if they don't have the book. So yeah. Yeah, so that's the martial artist. Let's see what's next. The mastermind. Yeah. So the mastermind, of course, not as physical, starts with less hit points, which makes sense. So yeah, I'm liking this. And again, mastermind's going to be your guy that's going to have minions. He's going to be manipulating people. And maybe a player wants to play a mastermind. I'm going to let him play it. The mentalist. Whereas kinetics channel the superheroic powers through their body, mentalists manifest power through their mind. So there you go. So yeah, pretty solid. Metamorph. Oh wait, did we jump? Oh, metamorph is the next one. Mentalist and then metamorph. Metamorphs are a diverse collection of heroes with striking different powers. Some can turn invisible, others intangible, others merge into an alien symbiote. Still others can adopt the appearance of other people, and few can even stretch and alter their flesh in possible ways. There's one thing they all have in common, however. They all can perform fantastic feats by altering their bodies. When facing a metamorph, it is hard to predict what threat you might encounter. So yeah, so these guys, and they're a D10 as well, starting with 20 plus con. So yeah, I'm kind of liking this power change here, and they can do all kinds of different things. Elasticity, transform. Hey, it's Dungeon Crawling Hobo. It's an awesome name, sir or ma'am. I'm assuming it's a sir. Tangibility and visibility. So this is a polymorphic, so you can change into different things. This is basically your Mr. Elastic, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, that kind of thing. Stretch Armstrong. Your Mystic. So this is your classic magic user. Mystic Born, Third Eye, blah, blah, blah. A familiar. Ooh, that's pretty cool. And I'll probably, for the main antagonist, I'll make a villain based off of one of these templates, unless there's a good villain in here. Yeah, but the art is fantastic. Oh, the special agent. So this is your mirrors have superpower either from superpowered physiology, super advanced technology, decades of intensive martial arts training, or occasionally from a potent artifact. A few brave mortals lack superpowers yet still fight along with other heroes. They bring know-how, grit, and unique training to bear to fight for what they believe in. Yeah, so this is your Batman's, you know, your Nightwing and Robin. These are your. I'm trying to think of a Marvel version, and I can't think of one right now. Now, I feel a little. It doesn't seem fair to me that they start with a D10 for hit points. Or special agents are people dedicated to their careers. Protectors of next work with you. Okay, so there's no super serum or anything like that. So you choose a division: investigator, operator, or soldier. But I don't think it's necessarily fair that you start with a D10. I think hopefully maybe that got errated. I'll have to see if I can find an errata. Because I don't think, if you can form balls of fire on your fist and hit people and burn them, you shouldn't be able to hang toe to toe with that person in a physical fight and have as many hit points as they do. That just doesn't sound right to me. Dungeon Crawling Hobo, we're talking about Supers 5e on my quest to find a super heroic RPG that I can run on Start Playing Games as a campaign. So I've narrowed it down to Outgunned Supers by Tiny Mouse or whatever. They're the guys that make Outgunned RPG. It's a D6 dice pool system, but it looks pretty cool. I did the Kickstarter for that, and I think those things should be coming early first of the year. And I probably won't be able to run this until the beginning of the year when my schedule frees up. But anyway, so we've already looked at Guardians, we've looked at Champions, we've looked at Mutants and Masterminds, we've looked at Palladium Heroes Unlimited, which is still a strong contender because as broken as the Palladium system is, it does work, and it works very well for supers. A GM needs to keep control of it and keep a tight rein. And I feel I can do that. I've run a couple of successful Heroes Unlimited campaigns, but I am really, really liking the first negative I see right now is with the special agent. I just don't think that they should have as many hit points as someone with superpowers or magic or whatever. It just doesn't sit right with me. Because like the mentalist who has powers, he can lift cars with his brain. He only has a D6 for hit points. So why does the special agent get a D10? And he has no powers except physical training, which just makes him on par with a good football player or a gymnast. If he gets hit by a car, he's still going to go splat just like anybody else, a normal human. This is a normal human who has training. I don't think he should have as many hit points. Maybe a D8. I think I would bump it to a D8. I think that makes more sense. Especially if the mentalist only has a D6. I did not look and see what the magic user gets. Let's see if we can find it. We go back. Because the mystic is a D8. So the mentalist was a D6, right? I think he was a D10. The metamorph is a D10, which is fine because they can manipulate their body. They're going to be a little more flexible. The mastermind only gets a D6. This is a guy that controls minions and is charismatic. As you gain the following class features, a D6. So yeah, something's not right there. I think the mastermind should probably get a D8 along with the mystic. I'm okay with the mystic having a D8, but the super soldier, he's not even a super soldier. He's just a soldier. He's just a what did they call him? See, the mystic gets a D8. I'm okay with the mystic getting a D8. the special agent, which is just a human. He has no superpowers or nothing. Oh, thanks, Dungeon Crawl Hobo, for Veterans Day. Thank you, sir, very much. Yes, Supers in the 80s. Yeah, I'm a child of the 80s myself. That was my jam. I was in the military. I was hitting the clubs. I was playing D&D. More importantly, what was I playing in the 80s? I was playing D&D. Playing AD&D, I think. Yeah. But yeah, so there's the Uncanny Dodge starting at 5th level, visible. Yeah, so again, this is 5th edition, Dungeons and Dragons with a superheroic theme put on it. A first-time caller, long-time listener. Well, thank you, Dungeon Crawling Hobo. The name is awesome, by the way. Are you on my Discord by chance, or do you just follow my YouTube? I'm also streaming on Facebook, but I'm streaming. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm streaming under my my personal profile, which is not what I didn't want to do, but that's okay. I'll try to figure out the Facebook streaming. Maybe I might have to stream exclusively on Facebook to do that, using the Facebook and my camera and stuff. But the techie. So what does the techie get? The techie gets a D8. So the techie uses superpowered tech. This is basically your Iron Man, your Gadgeteer, and even they get a D8. I'm on Discord if you do Discord, and obviously I'm on Facebook. And as much to my chagrin, Mr. Mean Speaks has a Facebook group. So I only have Facebook because of my YouTube channel, because it's a good way to get your channel out there. But I'm assuming you follow me through YouTube. So thank you very much. If you liked and subscribe, I appreciate it. And I think if you scroll up, no, I didn't do it on this one, but I can go, I don't know if you Dungeon Crawling Hobo. I'm just going to say Hobo because that's a mouthful. Hobo, if you do Discord, I have a Discord. If you need a link, let me know. I'll shoot you an invite. We talk about a lot of different RPGs on my Discord. Same for you, Overboard. I have a very active Discord, and we play games there. Right now, I'm running Daggerheart on Wednesday nights, but I'm going to be running a superhero game probably first of the year after the holidays. But yeah, the techie, I like it. Backup tech, that's pretty cool. So you can make your Iron Man. The Vitalist, this is the one I was curious about. So this is kind of I don't want to say a shapeshifter, but that's kind of what it's ringing me as a shapeshifter. Vitalist heroes hold sway over some aspect of the natural world. Some vitalists call upon legions of animals to do their bidding, while others manifest animal traits themselves. Still others command plant life, channeling plant toxins or other properties. Some vitalist heroes take on the appearance of their natural domains, coming to resemble an animal or something botanical in nature. Others, however, only present those qualities when they wish, perhaps transforming into a mundane-looking human at times. Still others never change their bodies at all, instead commanding the natural world around them to serve. So this is your shapeshifter, or you can be in the human guise and have the strength of a panther, or the speed of a panther or whatever. So yeah, I'm kind of joining it. If you're in the YouTube chat there, if you're watching me on YouTube, pop in and say hi. I see there's 4 people, so I know Overboard's in there, and Dungeon Crawling Hobo. So there's 2 others in there. Pop in and say hi, please. Let me know you're watching. Let's see, we got Nature's Alley. So again, and I think this guy starts with what? A D10 as well. So, which makes sense. You can turn into a bear. You're probably pretty tough. Improved wild rapport. So yeah, again, whatever class the player chooses, they're going to have to dive into this section. Very cool art right there. That is solid. Very, very cool. So then we go into background and personality. So this is more flavor, different backgrounds. Feature gym membership. You're an athlete, you got a gym membership. I think that's pretty cool. And you get, of course, if that's your background, you get armor and weapon proficiency, simple weapon light Light armor. These skills, you get to choose 3: acrobatics, athletics, intimidation, medicine, sleight of hand. So then your language and tools, you get a first aid kit, 1 set of tools, and 1 language of your choice. Equipment, a medic's pack, a gym pass, gotta have that, a simple melee weapon or your choice, and $400. Con artist. Oh my gosh. You have a permanent alibi as a con artist. Yes. Oh, that's hilarious. Permanent alibi, simple weapons, light armor, choose 3: deception, insight, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand. You get a disguise kit, a forgery kit, and 1 language of your choice. Equipment, you get a criminals pack. We'll have to look in the packs and see what that is. Forgery kit, a simple melee weapon of your choice, and $400. Corporate drone. So you get the gist here. This is pretty cool, though. You know a guy. Oh, the criminal. The criminal, his ability is you know a guy. Whenever you find yourself in a less than savory area or establishment with a good number of people, there is a very good chance you know someone present. If you don't, then you most likely do have a common acquaintance. The connection allows you to access otherwise unfriendly and dangerous areas of the underworld. These connections are often have information that may prove useful. The city's underworld isn't that big, and after all, but watch out for the police. They're or they'll throw you in jail. And so yeah, so that's pretty cool. Entertainment, life of the party, explore. That reminds me, these are that's like your one thing you get from being this background. And indigent. Indigent. There you go. Like an indigenous person. Uh, Journalist, you can track down a lead laborer. Solidarity, you can call on people to help you. Medical worker, triage, that's a good one. Military trained, uh, monastic, practice arts. So again, you want to, I mean, these all make sense. These are really good. Pilot, you want to be Green Lantern, you want to have the power of flight, or you want to be, like a Superman, you got to have pilot, you got to know how to fly. Um, and I think that could be a real good, you get a superhero who, just because you can fly doesn't mean you know how to fly. If you're up there with me in Dungeon Crawling Hobo, you probably remember Greatest American Hero when he gets the superhero suit. He doesn't know how to fly. So there you go. That would be pretty cool. I think that would be a fun little interlude or little vignette in the adventure to have the players learn how to use their powers. Almost like a X-Men training room, the danger room would be fun. So yeah, wealthy aristocrat, your Bruce Wayne, uh, encyclopedist, survivalist, live off the land, So we do have feats. So appearance and background are pretty much left up. Feats always ready. So we do have a bunch of different feats. So that's pretty cool. So you have to read the thing is, this is so different from 5th edition fantasy that this is going to require a lot of reading. You're going to have to read up because these things are going to be different. Combat invisibility. What the hell is that? You learn to use your ability to become invisible defensively and in combat situations. Now, whenever you take damage, you can use your reaction to use the invisibility power. So, and then I'd have to go read invisibility, but I'm assuming maybe you take half damage or you take less damage. Uh, but there's all kinds of feats here. Fungal rampart. I mean, obviously, good luck. You're blessed with good fortune. When you roll an attack skill check or save, you may re-roll after you have seen the result, but before the GM has determined whether the roll was a success or not. Once you have done this, you may not do it again until you've taken a short or a long rest. That's pretty solid. Yeah, overboard. I'm kind of really liking what I see. It's gonna determine how it plays, but so far it's making a lot of sense. And again, I'm really digging kinesthetic mimic. That is pretty cool. So that's basically your what was his name? Taskmaster from Marvel, or Slade from DC. guys that can mimic other people's physical abilities. So that's pretty solid. So all kind mastery of magnetism, magneto, manipulate energy. You want to be a blaster. So all kinds, polyglot. You want to learn any language. That's a nice villain scene right there. Powered armor. The art in here, I'm going to say, is pretty fantastic. I'm definitely jonesing on it. And we haven't even looked at the augmented operative registry, which I believe is like an overgrown adventure. Let me see if does it say. Again, phenomenal art. Operative registry catalogs over 100 super. Oh, so these are this is like a bestiary. Oh, okay, cool. So this would be good to look at to get some ideas. Legendary creatures. So it's talking about equipment. This will give you a really good idea. Adelita, mystic hero who now creates her cities. Okay, cool. So I could even let the players choose from these and just change the background. So they've got pre-done supers. So that's all this is a book of superheroes. So yeah. And some of this art is recycled from the core book, which is pretty cool. Different artists, though, different style art I'm seeing, which is fine. The art's not bad. And these round circles you can totally make as tokens. Say I can cut that out and turn it into a token if I wanted to use it in Foundry or a bag of mapping, which is my other favorite VTT is bag of mapping. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's free to use, or I think it's $2.99 or $4.99 for the different level memberships, but it is free to use and it's very solid. And if you do it, tell them Mr. Mean sent you. And it's all web-based, so that's really nice. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to fight with it. And they are adding features to it all the time. They just added 3D dice, which is pretty solid. So yeah, go check out Bag of Mapping. Yeah, these tokens are perfect. All kinds of NPCs. Sorry, my nose itches. Oh, we got a robot, powered armor. There's all kinds. So this is excellent. Yeah, okay, so cool. Back to the core book. 2-weapon wielder. Oh wow, look at that. Phenomenal. Almost looks like a sword wielding Green Arrow. Very cool. And then of course it goes on to equipment. And if you've noticed here that the hash marks on the side of the page here is denotes your chapter. So as long as you know what chapter you're in, like character creation is chapter 1, I will say what would have been super cool for this PDF is to make these hyperlinked. I don't know if that's easily done in a PDF, but it would be nice to click this and go right back to chapter 1. So, and there's that style of art that was in the Augmented Operatives book. So that's good to see that they did get the same artist. So yeah, all kinds of tools and gear. Another cool piece of art. Yeah, look, total screams your cybernetic limbs, Batman, maybe. The art gives you inspiration for. There's rules for multi-classing. That's good. Oh my goodness, I don't know what Frankenstein. That looks creepy. And then here's our rules. So this is the part that I'm going to have to really dig into and read. And like I said, I got to go pick up my printed copy of the book. If it's not very readable or easily, if I can't read it well, I will buy the full book. I think I'm going to pick up the other 2 books, though. Well, they only had 1 book, I think, on their website. Yeah, they only had the Midnight City book, which is good because to be honest, I don't need a book of NPCs, basically. So I gotta say, I'm pretty. But Pinnacle did pick this up overboard. So if you hit that link, yeah, it needs Danny's right. And hey, Danny, how you doing, buddy? A D10, but I just think the soldier, who's a dude, an average dude, doesn't have any special powers or anything. he's just a military trained or maybe even personal trained. I don't think he should have as many hit points as the kineticist or the mentalist, or whatever. It just doesn't make sense to me. I like I said, I'm going to probably change it in my own game, but that's that's neither here nor there. I don't know what that is, but he looks badass. So yeah, this is the rules section. So clearly I'm going to have to do a lot of reading on that. More cool art. So a lot of visuals I'll be able to pull out. There's your Wolfman fighting a powered armored dude. That's pretty solid on the hand of a giant robot. And then superpowers. This is going to be all your powers. This is where you're going to choose your powers. I like that they gave us the mechanics first, and then they give us a list of powers. So you kind of, once you read that section, you'll know what these mean. So again, like I was talking at the beginning, your at-will powers are powers that can be used without expending a slot. So everybody's going to be usable, is going to have something to do once they blow their wad. Once they use all of their powers, they're going to have their at-will powers, and you're going to be able to get more at-will powers. So that's why I think for the intro session, I'll do a little vignette where they'll get their powers, or they'll already have their powers, but they'll use them for the first time, and then they'll level up to second level. And then we'll spend the rest of that session 0 leveling up to second level. And then when we play our first actual play session, everybody will be second level. So, and everybody's going to level up at the same time. Yeah, I'm got to say, this is little recycled art. We saw that in another picture, but that's okay. Saving throws against powers, that's going to be important to know. So there's a lot of rules here. There's a power list, and we're only halfway through the book. So I have to imagine that the rest of the book is all powers. It would have been nice to see this be hyperlinked, but it is hyperlinked in the index. Now, or the table of contents. I don't know if the index is hyperlinked. I doubt it. That takes a lot of effort to do, and people don't do it, but it is pretty solid. But I'm going to wrap it up here. We're on an hour and a half. I've enjoyed it very much. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for a while. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. And I think we may come back and look at the other 2 books in another video, but I do have to go get some chores done for the family. I don't know what that is, but it is creepy as hell. That's Spider-Woman. Real quick, before we sign off though, let's look at the index and see if it is hyperlinked. I doubt it's hyperlinked. It's not. Okay, but the table of contents is. So, oh, that's going to take forever. Let's just go back up here into there. Yeah. So what are superpowers? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this look at Super's 5e 5th edition. This is Superpowers, Super's genre game in the world of 5th edition. I think it's pretty slick. I'm kind of enjoying it. I think we might have found a contender for, unless Outgun Supers tends to be way better, which I'm not quite sure it will be. I think it's going to be good, but I don't know if it's going to be as good as this. This might be the game. I don't know. We'll see. We got to look at Outgun Supers and see how it looks. I do have the beta paper. I'm waiting for a reply back from Two Little Mice to see if I can do a stream and show the book, because it is a beta. They may not want it shown, so I want to make sure I'm okay to do that. Once I get that confirmation email back, I will do a stream with that, probably next week or sometime this week, later in the evening, because once I get done with all my son's medical appointments and stuff, I'll be able to stream. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this last hour and a half. As always, peace and hair grease. A big shout out to Overboard and to Dungeon Crawling Hobo for hanging out with me. There was a couple of other people in the stream. I think Danny over on Facebook is in the stream. So big shout out to Danny. He's an amazing player. I haven't played in any of his games, but he's been a player in my game, and he was awesome. So anyway, and a big shout out to Kat. She is super awesome. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. As always, peace and hair grease. And remember, as always, Mr. Mean says, be nice. Take care, everybody.